Hello, today I want to talk a little bit about how I should be thinking about this project. I think a lot of it right now is about how to be confident on camera and be coherent on camera in a way that's easily editable. And that's great. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of that. But I think there are other things that I need to focus on when it comes to this practice and the purpose of this practice, which is ultimately to make better videos. I think one of the things that I need to get really good at is using gear and then also being able to shoot effectively. So ultimately, I think these videos will stop being about speaking coherently on camera and start being about practicing the other skills required to make videos. Ultimately, that I think will cause me to improve at the same rate that I've improved speaking at. That sentence didn't make much sense, but ironic to have a sentence that didn't make any sense when talking about trying to speak coherently. But what I'm trying to say is there might be videos in the future where it's just a couple of clips that I've shot with no voiceover or no talking at all, because I'm trying to practice the other components of video making, especially the type of video making that I'm trying to do for my projects. So talking with a big camera, that will be part of it, but also shooting different shots and lighting and all of that stuff might be part of this weird series. One thing that I've also noticed in the last few weeks, and it might just be because it's January, is that there are actually a fair few amount of creators that I know, whether it's big or small, doing this type of thing, going on a burner account or a second channel and recording themselves in a way more raw and cut down way or stripped back way. So the reason I say that is because I think there is somewhat of a vibe shift in this era where a lot of things are really coherent, really fixed, and really polished. I think that this is the time to be doing raw, uncensored, rough around the edges stuff. It's kind of an antidote to the polishedness that I think everything is converging on, especially in the age of AI. Everything's the age of AI these days. So whack. I don't really want to talk about that, but in the age of the fact that you can make a lot of things that are extremely polished and extremely slick looking, the marker of quality is changing in some ways. I still think that there is a place for authentically high quality art, but I think that the signals for quality, something that's valuable to an audience, are changing. And some of that is because everything polished is no longer high quality. Before, because it took so much effort to make something high quality, you would immediately know that if something looked high quality, it probably was. But now, because the effort that it requires to make something high quality has decreased, people who are bad at making stuff can make stuff that looks good, but is ultimately pretty bad. So I think the raw, uncensored, uncut stuff will continue to be a bit rough around the edges, but I think it signals a authenticity that you don't see with the highly polished stuff. And that's something that I think people desire. The secret is that's something people have always desired, an authentic connection that feels great. The problem is a lot of the time authenticity is messy and people make the trade-off between authenticity and polishedness all of the time. So this is this thing that's always going to be fluctuating. At some point, I might talk about what I call the content pendulum, which is one of the theories that I use to navigate the world. It's one of those mental models that I talked about a while ago. But all of that to say, this project might start to change from just webcam and just me talking to camera to other stuff, just weird little things that help me practice different skills that I need in order to make stuff. So that's all to say that's what I'm thinking about and how I can continue to use this as a vehicle for improvement. I'm also so tired. I think at some point I'm going to talk about how I think about sleep. This is not the best era in order for me to talk about sleep because I am in such a bad place with my sleep. That being said, I slept about 12 hours last night, but I also changed time zone and was carrying a lot of sleep debt from the last few days of not sleeping at all. So all of that combined means that while I did get 12 hours of sleep, I'm still carrying a lot of fatigue, which I hope to clear in the next few days. So that's my check-in. It's 9 p.m. I'm finally going to get a good night's rest at a reasonable time. Hopefully try and lock in my sleep schedule in this time zone with a good circadian rhythm. So that's everything. And maybe I'll talk about the content pendulum tomorrow.